Hello. So I'm 1 minute early here. Amazing. Yes, it's amazing. So today is the three of spades. Oh, that reminds me. No, her birthday is Pisces. Anyway, welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Q&A. I'm going to chat a little bit about something my guides told me to talk about before we get some questions going, but I just thought a regular Q&A, trying to find the right day, the right vibration for it. But I just feel like that's the best way to serve this community, is just go with the vibe that's happening, what your curiosity is. It will get you in the habit of thinking about what you want to know. So, okay, so in the last video, I took it's kind of complicated, but I explained how I get to the ascended age 57, which I am now. And then I took the day of the week that my last birthday was, just this past year. And then I lined up the planetary influences for each day. Hi. Your 5 of spades and your 9 of clubs. Oh, I'm looking forward to looking at that with you. Okay, I just want to talk about this combination for just a second, and thank you for that question. Oh, good, good, good. Questions are coming in. So the descending for today, for me this year, this is my ascending chart, is the 7 of hearts descending, 5 of clubs ascending. And so what I'm experiencing today with that is there's a certain level of emotional disappointment in myself about something. The task is to let it go and forgive myself. Yes, hello, Jason Melz. Oh, it's just so good to see you guys here. So I had to find a space to let go of the attachment to judgment. Basically, that's what it is with all of the sevens. So I let go of that. And then the 5 of clubs is a change of mind, a change of perspective, and awakening. So I don't know why they wanted me to share that, but they did, so I did. Okay, so first question, the 5 of spades and 9 of clubs. Okay, so the 5 of spades, and let's look at two things. Oh, let's see, born in 63, so... Oh, thank you. I'm so glad I blew your mind. Yes, I showed a graph. Did you figure out what the planetary influences of each day of the week are for you based on your most recent birthday? So born in 63, how old are you? Okay, so you're 3 years older, so 60. You're 60. Okay, so let's look at that. Doesn't that just sound weird? You're like, I'm not a 60-year-old. Okay, 5 of spades at age 60 is displacing the 10 of diamonds. Anyway, we can look at that later. They're telling me to look at your ascending cards. Oh, you're ascending Mars. Maybe that's one reason you're tuned in. But the one thing I wanted to look at, no, my guides are redirecting me. Okay, so, 62. So you are 61. Okay, so 5 of spades. Is displacing... Oh, wow, Queen of Clubs. So you're right in the very middle of the spread. Has it been a very busy year? Holy cow. Okay, so the first thing that comes to me about the 5 of spades is that they're always related to the 10s, the 5s and the 10s. There's a very similar dynamic. So what I'm getting is the task for the 5 of spades, which is, I haven't gotten this before, but you have all the pieces and parts moving around, and they want you to put them in the right place. The task is to organize the chaos, as it were, and I'm Virgo rising as a 7 of diamonds, Leo, which means my rising has a very strong influence, which is the 5 of spades. So I totally get this. This is how I discovered or was able to reframe my ADD. So yeah, I'm wondering if you resonate with that. This, what I'm getting is like, okay, the parts are all swirling around you. That's the energy of the five. And the center is yourself. All odd cards, the center pip represents the self. Therefore, odd cards tend to be more focused on their development. And I think, therefore, in this culture, tend to feel a little bit like a round peg in a square hole, because this culture is so much more focused on the structure, building the external structure, making things function, kind of a Mars approach. Hi, Jim. Oh, so the Nine of Clubs kind of accentuates that focus on organizing the pieces and parts, or rather having a lot of stuff available to you. So there's I call the Nine of Clubs open at the top. Nine of Clubs want the whole story. That's my nickname for that card. So if you go to itiskismet.com and you look up your birthday and the card of your planetary ruler, then you can see kind of my take on everything. I wrote it about 10 years ago, but I still hang pretty. That was the right timing to do that, because I'd accumulated a shit ton of information about all the cards and downloaded it. And if I didn't have it, I studied it. So yeah, a lot of moving parts, a lot of openness. So the challenge is around being vague and indecisive, or wanting to do it all. There's a wholeness with a 9. There's a wholeness energy that is like big, the whole thing, always looking for a larger context, always looking for the larger, bigger picture through which to understand everything. What's the biggest template I can get my hands on right now? So it's a very expansive energy, and very easily connective to other people, because there's always like, oh yeah, I've encountered that. I understand that. That fits into my enlarging worldview. Whereas even cards tend to be they're kind of a relief in a way, because they're more defined about what they think, what they believe, what they're here to do, what they do, who they are. So odd cards coming up in the spread of an even carded person creates a sense of instability. Oh, things are going to get shaken up. An even card for an odd numbered person is like, uh-oh, I'm being called to structure and consistency, and can, both of them operate on each other in a really powerful way. So, okay, let's take the next question. Oh, and how they relate to each other. Well, I kind of covered that. Okay. Birth card, 5 of Clubs, June. So late June, so you're a Cancer. So 5 of Clubs, should open it up to the spread. So 5 of Clubs, Cancer. So your descending planetary ruler is the 3 of Diamonds, which they're telling me to focus on. No, actually, that's the ascending. So the moon card, ascending, would be the 3 of Diamonds. The descending moon is the 10 of Spades. So they relate to each other. The cards on either side of you really have a relationship, and achieving one kind of leads to the transmutation of the other. So the moon is our emotional support system, what brings us a sense of comfort and stability. And then the Mercury is kind of our mindset and how we communicate to the world. So the 3 of Diamonds as an ascending moon card for you represents an openness to other value systems. There's a versatility, giving yourself permission to do it in an unconventional way. Yeah, that's interesting. That's what's coming to me. That 3 of Diamonds it's really about versatility, adaptability. And as a 5, I have a feeling that even though 5s are really fun and they love variety, because your 4 of Clubs is a karma card and right next to you in the spiritual spread, there's almost like I should. I should be more structured. I should be more predictable, regimented, routine, sane. Four of clubs is the sanity card. And the three of diamonds is about giving you permission to be as unconventional as you are. It's your brilliance. So you have seven of diamonds in Jupiter, which represents, like, that is the card of unconventional genius. So yeah, I think you're being called to really accept your unconventional genius, Melis. Okay. Next question. Okay. My question is, Gem Jackie 21. Are there something special for the years when we are 43, 44, and 45 because of their connection to the natural and mundane spread? Yes, absolutely. Oh, Melissa, you are certainly unconventional. Yeah, there's always a connection here. So there's definitely a focus on odd cards and the 3 and 5 today. And it's the 3 of spades, so that's kind of not surprising today. Yes, there is something very special about those years. So 43 is the spread that I use as the ascending mundane spread. So I explained it in my last video. I thought I did a rather good job of it. My last video was ruled by Saturn, and it was very tight. I did a really good job. Today I'm not feeling quite so tight, but let me explain this to you really quick, just in case you're wondering how I got there. And yes, this is a little advanced study. So if you take the magic circle of cards and you begin with the Queen of Spades sitting in the pinnacle position, you have the pure spread. And then one click away, the Eight of Diamonds is in the pinnacle spread, and we call that the mundane spread. If you go one click away the other way, you get the 10 of diamonds in the pinnacle position, which is the 43rd year. So if we consider that to be the ascended mundane chart, and we study our card, its position, our hand, you're going to see more about your potential, more about, self-actualization, which we've all been doing. It's not like all of a sudden you're on the ascended chart and that's that. We bounce around with all of these. Like, you can be like, okay, which chart am I working through today? Because I feel like shit and all my issues are coming up. Well, obviously it's a descending hand of some kind. So, and if you're just feeling really great, your business is good, your engagement with your service, that's another thing about the ascending chart, is that it's our service and our abilities, our highest potential shows up when we are performing a service and letting something that we've learned channel through us. So the 43rd year is, I think, we have an opportunity to experience our ascended hand. And what a great time in your life to be like, oh, I feel like I'm at the top of the game. You can reflect on that year in your life. And yes, the 44th spread is the pure spread. And like, I always used to wonder, how can we get that hand? How does that fit in? It's the magic circle. It's click, 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 click. And that particular 44th year is activated by, and by the pure spread and Robert Camp. It's a very good label he's given it, the pre-birth year. So before we came here, everything was in order. And then we put on the mask of the personality. So, I mean, that kind of begs the question, do we have a card before we're born? No, we don't. So let's just throw the whole thing out. Just live your lives, everybody. You're not your card. But actually, yes, when you're born, you are activated as a card. And maybe you don't come to really fully experience that pure spread fleshed out until you're 43. And then 44 just kind of reactivates a more galactic self. They're telling me to use that word. And then 45 is, okay, this is the template that I came in to work through. And we usually recognize a sense of achievement. A lot of people have a high school reunion at age 45. There's a or a family reunion, they come back into a setting. It could even be how a work setting has recreated your family setting, and you get to sort of reassess everything and be like, where do I want to go? Where am I at with these issues? Really significant events happen at that time. Raymond! It's so good to see you, dude. Been a while, huh? So, let's see, do I have a fragment of a thought to finish there? So many significant events happen in people's lives. 43, 44, 45, but especially 45. That's what I've seen. Somebody will say something about da 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 is going on. I'm like, sounds like they're 45. It kind of has a mark. Okay, let me back up. Okay. Midlife crisis. Yeah, that's exactly what defines the midlife crisis. It's a midlife reassessment. It's like, okay, here's where I've arrived operating my lower spread, my descending spread, the way that I have. And like maybe you're the Jack of Diamonds and the Queen of Hearts is your descending Neptune. So you're working with some sort of addiction and you've hit bottom. That 45th year is going to be like, I need to reassess how I got here. So the ascending is the 5 of diamonds. Maybe I need to challenge myself by changing my values. Maybe I'm having a renewal in what I want, what I desire in my life. So 45 is actually a really, really ideal time, especially since you've been activated by that ascending spread at 43 to step into your ascending hand in a more substantive way. Okay, great insights. Thank you very much. We'll try my best to be prepared for the next 3 years. So you're 42. That's the answer to the universe. 42 is a really significant year. Yes, according to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it is the answer to everything. But the 42nd Psalm went through my head really, really intensively for a period of years leading up to being 42. And then by the time I was 42, it really made sense. As deer panteth for the waters, so my soul longeth after thee. What do I really, really want? That was the question. And by 42, I was working through it in a really extremely challenging relationship that was presenting me in many ways with the very opposite of what I wanted. So 42 can be a year to come into contact with what you want and how you have been working against yourself all this time, or how maybe a contrasting situation is really bringing it to bear. So I have a theory, and it's really borne itself out, that every year is activated by, like every year of our age is activated by a card in the deck, and 45 is the 6 of spades. That's the 45th card. So if you're under 52, it's real easy to figure that out, and afterwards I think it does start to I think it starts over or it begins going the other direction. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but like 31 was when I discovered this, because people just, it's like they go through the shaker at 50, at 31, because that's the 5 of diamonds. So, think about that and how that relates to that year. So what is 42? I have this written out somewhere. 40 is the ace of spades. So guess what? It's today. No coincidence. I talked about that. 3 of spades. It's the actuator card. So that lines up. 3 of spades is I'm going to actuate what is within me, and we call that art. So 2022 was your 45 year. You took the Great Reset way too seriously. Raymond says, I got a 10 of diamonds today. What would you is the best card to attempt to play the lottery on? 10 of diamonds today. I would say your number, 2. You're the 2 of spades. That'd be my guess, but I don't gamble. I'm kind of bad luck if I go along with someone who's gambling, it just gets totally foobarred. I had an occasion where someone was getting really mad at me. We were up in Black Hawk, Colorado gambling, and I was like, "I fucking hate this. I just hate it." So you know how you get the big tub of quarters? I just started throwing them on the floor. He was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "Letting go, giving other people some hope. Let go, just let go." 42 feels intense and uplifting at the same time. My year card is 5 of diamonds, so I'm planning. The year card. Oh, Mercury year. I see what you're saying. Yeah, planning, thinking ahead, and also just be present. Are you the 5 of clubs? Are you the one that told me that? Jem, let me go back up. No, I don't think you told me what your card is, Jem. That was somebody else. Yes, you know. Raymond knows I forget his name. It's so funny. Thank you so much. Have you noticed this is my favorite shirt? I look at all my videos and I'm like, oh, I'm wearing that blue shirt again. I love this shirt. Maybe it's my lucky shirt. My stepdaughter is a 3 of spades. She's very lucky. And yes, I'm a 2 of spades. There, have you noticed? I've just noticed a real, a high degree of frequency between the 2 of spades and 3 of spades. Sometimes this shows up. Like there's also a real intense relationship between the 2 of clubs and the 3 of clubs, which is King of diamonds, King of hearts in the mundane spread. So yeah, I know a lot of 2s and 3s that know each other, and they have a lot of gifts to give each other. That's one reason. The 2 of spades lacks an awareness about their gifts and how special they are. They tend to feel kind of ordinary and they like invisible to themselves. And the 3 of spades is like, come on, show up. Let your flag fly, man. Let's do something. And the 2 of spades helps the 3 to be like, hey, calm down, align with yourself. Be aware of other people. Oh, the pressure in the room just changed. I've had some amazing ghost stories lately. If you go on my other channel, I explain what happened recently with a ghost that I helped transition to the other side who's been hanging around in Fort Collins for like over 100 years. It was a phenomenal experience. But we have a pillar of light out front, which creates the sanctuary here. So I don't think this pressure changes at ghost. Who knows? Anyway, you're the Jack of clubs. Thank you. With a Mercury personality. Yeah, isn't Mercury fun? Yes, your dear wife is the King of diamonds. Yes, so there's that connection right there between 3 of clubs and 2 of clubs. Yep. I see I've been missing out. Yep. Well, yes and no. You know, sometimes you just get off this bus and get on another bus for a while and then, you know, it's fine. Okay, another question. They're telling me look at the ascension hand for the 3 of spades. So for today, let's look at the 43rd chart for the 3 of spades. And the 3 of spades is displacing, instead of the very challenging Jupiter-Saturn intersection, which totally activates them, they're sitting in Uranus-Mars. And given that their home position in the pure spread is Uranus-Neptune, the Uranus energy could really be activated today. Okay, so Fridays for my 57th year are Uranus. And it's just like, you know, I learned really early in the year. I just kind of took notes for the first 7 days of my year. If you're close to your birthday, try this. And I see your question, Octavia. I'll get to it. Just take some real cursory notes of what's the general energy of today for the first 7 days of your year, and then figure out what the planetary influences are. And Fridays just kept being like, God, I was going to do this, and then I ended up doing that, and then I realized I forgot something, and then someone randomly showed up, and it all worked out. So as long as I just give in to the flow on Fridays, magic happens. So for the 3 of spades today, since It has a relationship with Uranus here in two aspects, the mundane and the pure spread. Okay, with that Venus, this relationship to the Jack of Clubs, Venus Uranus it's romancing in an unconventional way. It's Venus is like Jack of Clubs are really romantic. They can really set the vibe for like a romantic evening. They're poets, they're artists, they're creative. That Venus energy of divine love and beauty entering in with Uranus is like, let's do this a different way. Let's be unconventional. Let's open our minds to like a totally different approach. That energy has been present. Today, Octavia says, what books would you suggest to read to learn about numerology, Kismet? Clarify what you mean by numerology, Kismet. That's a very interesting pairing of words. Are you calling me Kismet? I'm Paula. You can call me Kismet. It's kind of a cool word, isn't it? A paid reading is worth it. Thank you. That is so sweet. And yeah, it is a magical experience because I connect with your guides. And I have a background in counseling. I have a master's in transpersonal counseling. So I bring a lot of things to the table. Okay, books on numerology. The best treatise on numerology I have ever encountered is Dan Millman, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And we don't think of that author as being connected to numerology, but he wrote a comprehensive book, Dan Millman, on numerology. I don't know what it's called, but you can find it pretty easily. It's pretty old, so you can like go on Thrift Books. It's not Amazon. Abe Books is Amazon. So if you want to bypass Amazon, go to thriftbooks.com. They've got just about everything you want and super cheap. So really, I've never been disappointed. I've ordered scads of books from them. So it's really in depth. I would also highly recommend, which makes me remember that I'm creating this certification. I'm going to have my hands full doing this all year, and I do want a class of beginners. Or if you just want to do the beginner class, I'm going to offer it at a discounted rate. It will be the foundation stone for the certification. I should offer a way to test out of that class because most of these people are like, you're beyond that. But, you know, you go through a fine-tooth comb with all the fundamentals, and sometimes you get your foundation reset, which is very good. So I am, in the more advanced classes, I'm going to require a study of the Enneagram. That is the more personal aspect of the numbers. How does this express through me? What are all the levels of expression from an ego-bound expression to a more enlightened, spirit-informed? What's the divine essence of this number? And it's all very connected, and all of those inform my study of the cards. And there's always a high correlation between your Enneatype and your cards. You will find your Enneatype in your hand, somewhere intimately linked with you. And it's very telling what the relationship is to tell you what it is that you're working on. So I am a 9, 7 of diamonds, 9 of hearts. Get the 9 thing. Why did I choose 7 of diamonds? Why didn't I have a birthday on the 9 of hearts? It's because I want to be a 7. All my best friends are 7s. And if they're deep, if they've overcome their fear of pain, 7s are really afraid of pain. If they've decided to do the work, they've just got the package, the whole package of like this cheerful, mercurial, fairy-like energy of the 7. And they love everything. They want to do everything. It's the Epicurean. But the 9 in correlation with that is like, I'm going to do the deep personal work. I'm going to really drop in. I'm going to get a universal insight on all of this. So all my 7 Enneagram friends are really informing me. One of my 7 friends is a 5 of diamonds. The other one is the 6 of diamonds. Isn't that interesting? And I'm very intimately connected to the 5 and 6 and 8 because they're on either side of me. So yeah, Jason, I don't know what the Chaldean cipher is. You've mentioned it before. That's so cool. But anyway, it's a numerology recommendation for Octavia. I love that. I love this sense of community we have. So My guides told me while I'm waiting for another question to talk about the ascended hand of the three of spades for today. So you can, another random thought, take your long range card for this year. Okay, according to Destiny Cards, Robert Camp, that's the descending long range card, and you can figure out your ascending. Okay, someone named L, eight of spades, composite card. Clarify your question, L. Eight of spades composite between two cards? Is that what you're, like if I add up the 7 and the 5 or something? Is that what you're saying? Anyway, yeah, tell me what you mean by that. So you can take your long range card and look at the entire hand. I once did a reading for my dear, wonderful friend who helped me create and structure the entire website and business and everything. She has a 6 of clubs. And one time I gave her a full-on reading, and all I did was tell her that her hand, like say your long-range card is the 5 of diamonds. What will your moon card be this year? What will your Mercury card be this year? And look at it that way. So you could do that with the 3 of spades today too. Just take each card in the hand and be like, you know, yes, between two cards. You're driving. Please be safe. Yes, the composite card between two cards is, oh, it's so fascinating. What is my composite with this house, with this business, with this person, with this group? You can take composite cards and get a composite card. So I think I did figure out what is my composite with the, okay, so 33 plus 31 is, that would be 64, which would be 12. Would that be Queen of Hearts composite for me and my friend Jess? Okay, anything for King of Diamonds this year? I bet you're asking for a friend. So King of Diamonds this year, do you want to tell me how old she is? Like I can't just like say something in general about it. So yeah, give me her age and I'll look at the long range card. So the way you figure out the ascending long range card is you go back to the 7-year spread for that age. Okay, you're 45. Is she 45? Because I know your wife is the King of Diamonds. So, okay, I'll look at your long range card at 45. So let's look at the ascending long range for 45. So what is the 7-year spread that is ruled by, okay, it would be ages 42 to 48, ruled by age 6 of your spread, the 6-year-old spread. And then the long range card is determined by which year you are in. So 42, 3, 4, 5, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. 42, 3, 4, 5, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. So this would be the Jupiter card of, okay, let's look at the 2 of spades. So in Robert Camp's book, what it's telling you your long range card is Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. The descending Jupiter card, so here's your 2 of spades here, and then here's your Jupiter card for age 45, which is the 5 of spades. So it's telling you that's your long range card this year, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. What's your ascending long range card? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. This isn't the same as vertical. This is just going the other direction. So we would count up. We would start here and then go Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and we end up with the Jack of Clubs would be an ascending long range card. Okay, I just did a reading for you at 45. Okay, she's 45. So let's find the King of Diamonds in that spread. So good, we'll just go through this process again. So here is the King of Diamonds for the 7-year spreads. This is how the long range card is derived. So the first card would be, her first long range card at age 42 would have been the 3 of clubs. At 43, it's the Queen of Spades. 44, 9 of clubs. 45, 8 of clubs. So that's the long range card for her this year, which is in the circle of 7. What's the ascending? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, the 2 of diamonds. Yeah, right. Sometimes people would be like, "Where can I find a book on all this?" And I'd be like, "I haven't written it yet." Just yeah, I hope to. My guides told me I didn't have to, but I finally decided I just wanted to. Like, it would take up time. They're like, "You achieved all your karmic intentions, so it's just kind of a get to the rest of your life." And I'm like, "I'm so unstructured. How am I gonna figure that out?" So, yeah, go with what you want. So, the 8 of clubs for her is about resolving power and control issues, but also leadership, being called upon to be a leader by example is what I'm getting. And then once she accepts the reality that that's happening, because she kicks ass, she's amazing, she has integrity, she's kind, she's creative, she's amazing, she's organized, she's like all the things, because she's also the queen of diamonds, which is also, it's all odd cards. So she's got quite the integrated personality, right? And then that will achieve for her the ascending 2 of diamonds this year. So the 2 of diamonds is that she will be able to partner with herself in terms of what she really wants. It can end up being kind of a, I get to be selfish. I get to be my own business partner in a sense and say, you can have all those things that you want. Trust yourself. That's her message. Trust herself. Yeah. Yeah, right? That's a really good point, Jason, because it really is one of the main thrusts and intentions of doing a course is to be able to give another person a reading. I'm kind of guessing it's like people want to get certified in reading because they're reading for other people, but maybe you just want to read for yourself, and that's okay too. To do it in a way that's aligned with spirit, that makes use of your intuition, that helps you to realize you are intuitive. It's not that people aren't psychic, they just don't trust themselves. It's like, oh, I can't hear, I don't have any ears. And it's like, no, you have ears, you just haven't learned to use them or trust them. That's exactly what it is. And it's like, how do you teach that? Well, I'm intending to. We'll just see what happens because I'm co-teaching. Spirit is my teacher. Your guides are your teachers. So, it's going to be a big party. It'd be very cool. Oh, thank you, Jem. Yes, I do play with my art. It is very, very fun. I love it. Thank you. You cannot read well. Well, it's really hard to read for yourself. Do you read for other people? I bet you are. And I need to remember, I need to seal it in my mind what your card is, Jason. Um, yeah. Yeah, it's such, I know you're into esoteric knowledge, and that's why you're so into this because it's substantive. Oh, I'm going back through to just remind myself what your card is, Jason. 3 of diamonds is your birth card. Okay. Yeah, that's one reason we've got such a simpatico is there's a Mars connection, and so there's this passion for something. There's this, yeah, let's eat up this knowledge. Let's figure it out. Plus, as a 7 of diamonds descending, I maybe represent a resolution to Mars issues for you. It's your masculine archetype, and the fact that you're accepting your the unconventional is huge because odd card men tend to, especially diamonds and hearts, they tend to kind of grab onto the king of their suit and they act in a more, in my superficial functioning in the world, I can be a CEO, I can be a businessman, I can work for corporate, I can, the structure of the Mars line, which is great. But it's like a survival thing, especially if they're living in the States, which you're not, um, to become that king of diamonds, but to really settle into what you really are. In fact, go on my playlist on this channel and you will see the court cards where I give a full on description of the king, queen, and jack of every suit. King of diamonds is your personality card. I didn't clarify that. What is the last card? Yeah, it's the king of diamonds. All men will gravitate towards the king, women gravitate towards the queen, and the Jack is like your creative, your internal creative, your inner adolescent. I think the inner child maybe is more the ace. I think I would include the ace in the court cards. Ooh, that would be fun, wouldn't it? That's a project. I'm going to do that. I'm going to add that to my playlists and describe the ace of every suit and how it represents your inner child. Never thought about that. In the videos that I made, I described the Jack as the inner child, which works too. So the King of Diamonds is actually in your hand too, isn't it? It is the, going back to age 0. Oh, is it your Pluto? No, it's Mercury. Okay, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn. It's your Saturn plus. It's your cosmic lifetime reward, the King of Diamonds. So really achieving that, I guess, for the 3 of Diamonds is like, look, I've accepted my personal authority, my sovereignty over my own life. Her name is 77, Chaldean. That's really cool. She's the Queen of Diamonds. Oh, she literally is your queen. That is so sweet. I love it. Queen of Diamonds are complicated, aren't they? Shall we talk about diamond females for a minute? Diamond females are really, really challenged by club men. Therefore, they are likely to get in an intimate relationship with many of them in order to resolve judgment. Queen of Diamonds are very discerning. They can see very clearly. Oh, her birth card is the 4 of Spades, but somehow 77 is the Queen of Diamonds. I get you. Okay. She's the 4 of Spades. So I guess I don't really have anything to say about that at the moment. Look at your relationship in the 43rd spread. Numberology. Okay. 4 of Spades at age 43 displaces the 4 of Hearts, which is 2 cards away from where the 3 of Diamonds sits in the other spread. So that's a Venus, past life Venus connection, like past life. And where is your 3 of Diamonds in this spreadsheet? It is displacing the Queen of Diamonds. Isn't that interesting? So in the 43rd spread, this is where the Queen of Diamonds house is. You're sitting in that house in the ascended mundane spread. So that's a very powerful connection we've discovered. So, oh, the Queen of Pentacles, gotcha. And yes, there is a huge connection between the tarot and the cards. And according to my understanding, this card system came first, with the Fool being the 0 or the first of the, what do you call those? The trump cards? I forget what they're called. You know, the 21, what are they? I forget the name of it. But anyway, then the 2 influences came together, Kabbalistic stuff and some other system, and then that sort of morphed the card system into tarot. Okay, so yeah, I feel like we're coming to a close here. I think I'm going to close it out. Any final questions? I'm so glad that you guys have been here. This is really fun. And go ahead and ask me like a really personal question. Like, I'm in my Mars period right now, and I'm just really scared of the 7 energy. Can you give me any hope? You know, like if you have anything you want to say about that. Right now, they're just saying, take this 43rd chart. You're so welcome. Take the 43rd chart to assess your relationship to somebody. So you traditionally are thinking of Like for me, I was like, oh, Six of Hearts is my Pluto card. Therefore, my sister-in-law and like this other friend in my life are like Pluto. They're my undoing, you know. But why do I love them so much? Why do we get along? What's really good about that? Well, this me and the Six of Hearts have a totally different relationship in this spread, and that explains it. It means there's a higher functioning going on. Al says, is it common for the Ten of Clubs and the Jack of Clubs to cross paths? Yes. Yes. Cards next to each other. Oh, thank you, Jason. Wow. Your gnosis is pure. I love that so much. Yeah, it is pretty much, huh? I just kind of came in that way and I never departed from it. Caused a lot of suffering for a period of time because I just couldn't morph myself to anything other than what I was. It's partly my human design too. It's like all my channels are, what do you call it, like occupied or something like that. So it's like, I am who I am. Oh, you're still driving, trying to piece together questions. That's so sweet. Ten of Clubs I crossed, wax, boring and annoying. I've never heard somebody say, I found their card so boring. Actually, I have. I have had that thought about other cards before because it's like, God, I'm into like interesting and unconventional, and they're just like really boring. That means you haven't gotten under the surface. Um, the Eight of Spades, by far the most intense relationship I've had. So you with an Eight of Spades. Um, and you're the Jack of Clubs? Yeah, what is crossed wax? Um, Whenever you encounter the card right next to you, there tends to be a sibling relationship. There can be a mirroring, there can be a projection, like we do with our siblings. You know, it can be competition, everything that you are with a sibling, but there can also be when they're right next to each other, one is Moon, one is Mercury, right? And that goes back and forth. One isn't, that's the limitation of Robert Camp's system that never sat right with me is she is your Saturn. And it's like, well, I'm her teacher. So how does that work? That's how it works is I'm her teacher. Clearly. Well, that's because you're working the ascending spread in the other direction. And I didn't know that for so long. So like if somebody is your descending Saturn, you are their ascending Saturn. So yeah, that's something to think about. Was the 10 of clubs I crossed was boring and annoying. Okay, much more clear. Okay, so I want to address this one more question. The most intense relationship is you and the Eight of Spades. So Elle, tell me what your card is again. Are you the Jack of Clubs? Oh, you said Eight of Spades composite card. Is it because you're wondering what the composite is between you and an Eight of Spades? Okay, tell me what your card is. Maybe you're the Eight of Spades, but no, you wouldn't find yourself boring. Oh, the 10 of clubs plus the Jack of clubs is the Eight of Spades. I got you now. Okay. That is intense. So together we equals the composite Eight of Spades, by far the most intense relationship I've yet had. And oh, okay, a different person said when I met them they were boring. Okay, the 10 of clubs. Joseph Campbell's card, Madonna, Nicole Kidman, I think Guggenheim. Most of those are shitty people, but not Joseph Campbell. I call it the paradigm shifter. So if they were boring to you, they are not doing their job. They are totally skirting it. They're trying to get away from the immense responsibility at the 10 of clubs because they are supposed to be paradigm changers. Yeah, it's a big role. It's a big personality. It's a lot to handle. The composite card is when you add the value of your card to the value of another card. So let me give you a really simple example. Ace of hearts is 1, 2 of hearts is 2. If an ace of hearts and a 2 of hearts are in a relationship, they want to know what their combined energy is. What is the spread, the card of their relationship? 1 plus 2 is 3. It would be the 3 of hearts. So they would look at the hand of the 3 of hearts and be like, oh, like the Queen of Clubs sits on our Venus, which means our leisure time should be spent with gathering and organizing information. So, yeah. Oh, I thought you said lawyers. The 10 of clubs are often lawyers. It's the attorney card. From now on, that is my nickname for the 10 of clubs, the attorney, because as paradigm shifters, isn't that what they're trying to do, is shift your paradigm to convince you of something? Anyway, yeah, and it's a Mars vibration, just vertical Mars, and that's it in the descending spread. So the 10 of spades have layers, 10 of clubs have layers. Yeah, I think that's what you meant. So if you get something over 52, thank you, Jason. Yes. If you get something over 52, you subtract 52. So then it just starts over. So the composite would be the 20th card. So a easy way to figure it out with your head is 13, 26, and 39 are all multiples of 13. Those are all kings. So you would count up from 13 or down from 26. So 20, I have this written down somewhere. Okay, let me just go to the pure spread. I'll just get really simple with it. Yeah, beautiful. I do this to myself. Okay, I'll just go to 44. Okay, so the 20th card would be, let's go from the King of Hearts, which is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 7 of clubs. Oh, thank you. Someone else figured it out. 7 of clubs. So yes, your composite for your relationship is the 7 of clubs. Okay, let me talk about the 7 of clubs because it's very often misunderstood. It's very complicated to be a 7 of clubs. They're working with the relationship between sensitivity and the need to control, because their karma card is the 8 of diamonds, right? Oh man, that is a big question. And you know what? It is, Raymond, it is my intention to do a mundane spread and like try to scratch the itch. We'll see if my guides cooperate, because they're like, oh, you don't want to, even when I remote view, they just give me all this esoteric shit. But I promise I'll do that, and I will. Maybe I'll make it a tasking, and I'll put it in my little tasking box, and then maybe I'll pull it out in the time sensitive taskings. I have fewer in there, and then I'll pull it out and do a video on it. But it's like, ooh, let's get political. So going back to the 7 of clubs, it's a very yes, we're thinking the same. The 7 of clubs is a card of genius and brilliance. You should see all the decodes related to that date and those parasites. Whoa. Fascinating. The dates, do you mean? Oh, April 8th, which is the King of Diamonds. Yeah, you know, Laura's View and Tarot 2 is the name of her spread, and she did a really good tarot reading on that. It's the other X, right? So the first eclipse, I think it was August of 2017, went diagonally one way, and the other eclipse is going to go the other way. And it's like this big X across the United States. So it's fascinating to think about. It's like, look at the shit that's unfolded between then and now. It's like, what's coming? I feel really good about it. I'm like, I've already been shaken up. Okay, I woke up. I learned about all the shit and the corruption and the lies going on this planet. So like, I'm okay. But I think what's coming is a global shakeup where more and more people are going to be seeing it. That's my sense of it. That's why 2024 didn't make me nervous. It was like, whoa, it's going to be really wavy. But I'm okay. I think it's going to be wavy for people who are less conscious. Isn't it always? Right? Okay, so Seven of Clubs. I just want to go back to that for a second. It's a card of genius, brilliance, emotional insight, seeing things from just a really integrated, insightful, discerning, like it's a very energy sensitive card. So that is a fascinating vibration to be with somebody. And it's in the tail end of the Saturn line, which means they really get the whole woundedness thing and dysfunctional families, but the majority of the descending hand is in Uranus. So it's about what's the legacy that we're going to leave. They're very wise people. So you've got your popcorn. Enjoy the show, right? Okay. Let me back up a second. Jem, why did you? Oh, you were answering my question. So yes, let's do a separate read on that. The decodes related to that date. That would be fun for you to do a video, Jason. The eclipse. Just numerology. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's the birthday of somebody who passed away who was beyond description important in my life. So every time that date comes around, I'm just like, and he does talk to me on occasion. Would like to see you have a conversation with other cardologists like Kismet and Friends podcast or something. Oh my God, that's a really good idea. See, that's what I'm working with a Three of Spades who knows a lot of tech. And that's one of the things I want to do is to be able to do videos like side by side or like, have a round table kind of thing. Like, we're going to have a discussion about the Seven of Spades today. And today we are featuring, whoever wants to join in. And I think there are a lot of adepts out there that maybe haven't started a channel or haven't, tried to be official with it or something. But oh my God, wouldn't that be so much fun? I also have, okay, I'm not active with this, but on Telegram, I started a channel. The symbol is the Ace of Spades, and God knows what that channel is called. If you want to join that, like we could do information sharing and more conversations and stuff, but Telegram, I will find it for you in a heartbeat. I think Dr. Sue uses that. I think a lot happened with that channel after I just sort of fell off the map because we bought a place, totally rehabbed it, moved, broke up, got back together, had a wedding. So I've been a little busy. It's called Kismet Cards. Yeah. Okay. So this is what the channel looks like. Kismet Cards. It's just that Ace of Spades. And people are using that. So I should probably go in and see what's going on there. Okay, cardology is like a language. It is. It totally is a language. And I was the only one speaking that language in my world for a long time. It's like, it's good I came equipped as a Seven of Diamonds to be like, I know. It's like, whatever. I get that a lot. So for me to be doing this, for there to be a community, for me to be speaking this language, and it's not blah, blah, ginger, you guys, it's like, I never imagined this would happen, but I did have dreams of having big cardology conferences. That word cardology didn't even exist. I don't like the word because when you Google it, it's always cardiology, right? It always autocorrects. So, which is nice because that's about the heart. But yeah, cardology, it's going to get a lot of tags. Originally, this system did not have a name. It was so secret and so esoteric that they didn't give it a tag. Because even way, way back before technology, you could find something through its tag. It's the vibration, right? It's the key. It's a frequency. So it got called it. You had to call it something like Prince, right? You got to call him something. The artist formerly known as Prince. So it got called the Science of the Cards, the Mystic Test Book, Original Tarot, Destiny Cards. But it's that way by intention that it's a little slippery. So yeah, sliding into it on an esoteric level is really the way to unlock it. Okay, I desperately have to go to the bathroom now, so I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for joining, and this time worked well, didn't it? Uranus is good for transmitting information over the waves, and this is my Uranus day. So, giving you a little assignment next week. Yes, it's a group on Telegram. You're welcome. If you want a little assignment, I really want you to look at this and I want to talk about it. My mom used to do this. If I got a facelift, oh, my neck wrinkles would go away. Which reminds me, I wanted to talk up this. Just any old castor oil, but make sure it's organic and doesn't have hexane in it. Get a good brand. And then watch a video. Just look up castor oil uses on YouTube. And I found this one that's like 39 uses of castor oil. It will blow your mind. Like, I just slathered it all over myself last night, and I'm telling you, my nervous system, I forgot what it felt like to have a calm nervous system. Not only did I sleep like a baby, but I was like, "Oh my god, I feel so okay." And my feet didn't hurt in the morning and yada yada. And it takes all the scratchies out of your eyes. It won't blur your vision. Put it on your eyelashes. It makes hair regrow. It, like, Edgar Casey much. Oh my god. So I had to just, I'm so glad. Yeah, put it in your belly button. I did that. It's like where you were connected to your mom and received all this nurture. I use Facebook and I should use it more. I used to do videos on Facebook and it was really fun because it really felt more like a living room. But your assignment is to figure out what day of the week your most recent birthday. Right. I'm not giving medical advice. Thank you. It'll cure anything. I just won't mention what it cures. But pretty much anything goes on the list. We do have these super cures, these super medicines in the world, and castor oil is one of them. It's awesome. So, yeah, we don't want to strike on the channel. So I got strikes on my other channel. Should tell you something. Anyway, the assignment is do that graph where you figure out what each day of the week, which planet it's activated. So Mercury is the planet for the day of the week of your last birthday for this year. And then Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And then just kind of observe and get back to me and tell me what you think. And level 2 of this assignment is to get out any card spread you want to work with for this year and attach those cards to that day. And think to yourself, how am I influenced by these cards today? Like, this was a huge insight for me that my 7 of Hearts descending today as a Uranus day, which would be a little unexpected bump in the road, disappointment. But the 5 of Clubs is what I'm reaching for. That's the resolution, an awakened perspective, a change of mind, a different way of looking at something. So I'm going to keep that in mind all day and just invite in a new perspective. So that's one way you can work with them, is like the cards give you an opportunity to open up to the opportunity that the card is presenting you with, rather than like, oh, I hate this card. Disaster is looming, and we tend to future catastrophize with any divinatory system. But don't go there. I try to stay in the present. That's been my lesson. I've tried to predict and go into the future, and it's like, energies are always changing and shifting on your way there. And so you're like, I had this friend who was like, I'm looking into my marriage and I have the 9 of Hearts in 4 years as our long range card. And is our relationship going to end? Turns out they did split up and they needed to. But it's like, don't go there. The issues that you have today aren't relevant to how you're going to experience that card. And sometimes it will present itself in the total opposite way. Like the 9 of Hearts can be a harvest, an emotional harvest of some kind. It is the ultimate happiness blessing card too. So anyway, love you all. The 9 of Hearts is bad too. Yeah, and it's not. It's unconditional love. It just drags you through the crises that, if there's any shit in there that needs to be resolved, of like, I am unworthy, because it's just going to bring it up. And that's why it tends to be kind of dark. It's like surgical. But, there's a harvest that comes with undoing all those messages and stuff. So anyway, thanks again for listening. And I really am going to close now. And thank you all, and love you all. Put like such nice comments here at the end. So Yeah, and then you ended up getting married. Right? It was a fullness, it was a reward. Love you all. Thank you for your brilliant participation. Oh, 3. Okay. There. Okay. And you are so welcome. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. It's always so much fun, right? Tell your friends, and I'll schedule another live chat Q&A for next Friday morning, probably because this seemed to work. But if you want another day, feel free to. Oh, yeah, totally. And I have a sliding scale, 120 at the bottom, 180 at the top. And if you still need a negotiation, don't be embarrassed to ask. Just be like, oh, I can't afford that this month. I do ask that it go no lower than 80, but if you're like a starving student or something, or if you're in crisis, I also have a client that pays me $10 a month because that's what she can afford for a reading she got way back when. It's like whatever you need. Let's not penalize those who are challenged financially, right? I was there for years and years and years, so don't be afraid to ask. How do you get a reading? Go on my website. It is kismet.com. Go in the reading section and it will give you my contact information. Especially, I know it does for sure in the Cosmic Connection section. If you want to get a reading between you and somebody else, it will give you my phone numbers and tells you to text me. Yeah, I am. Okay. Love you all. Bye.